After finishing Suikoden 1, I was really excited to get to the sequel. I mean, after all, Suikoden 2 is widely regarded as one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. And after rolling credits on the game, do I think it lives up to the hype, or did it end up feeling like an average JRPG experience to me? So yes, I'm excited to talk about Suikoden 2 and my thoughts on that. Before we get to that, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already, and leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Suikoden 2. Do you think it's a masterpiece, or do you think it's a little bit overhyped? So let's get to the story, and I'll try and be as spoiler-free as possible just in case you haven't played the game yet. And I do also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Konami for providing me with the review code for Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster. So let's get to the story first. Suikoden 2's narrative is clearly its greatest strength, weaving a mature and emotional tale of war and intrigue and personal struggle. It doesn't rely on a simple good versus evil conflict, but instead it presents morally complex characters, at least kind of the main characters, and choices that shape the course of the story. And coming from Suikoden 1, I can see that there's more of an emphasis on the story. Not that Suikoden 1 didn't really have an important story, but Suikoden 2 just felt like the more mature version of the story in that regard. Now, in Suikoden 2, you play as a young soldier in the Highland Army alongside your best friend, who I pronounced in my head the entire game as Jowie, but I guess other people online say it's Joey, so we're going to say Joey. Both of their lives are turned upside down when they witness their nation orchestrating a brutal massacre to justify war. And forced to flee, the two friends take very different paths. The hero becomes the leader of the resistance movement, while Joey rises to the ranks of the opposing military, and their growing conflict is at the heart of the story, creating a very sort of friendship turned rivalry. Very interesting. Now, aside from that, there is a antagonist for much of the game. His name is Luca Blight. He is an incredibly sadistic villain. His unrelenting cruelty, from massacring innocent people to burning entire villages, makes him a very terrifying presence in the game. And I would say that one of the most really interesting scenes, or maybe rude awakening scenes to this guy's dark side, involves him forcing somebody to squeal like a pig before slaughtering them. It really shows that war is just super dark, and the game fully embraces that, and I think again lending its hand to that more mature story. But Suikoden 2 isn't just about war and villains, it's also about the cost of conflict and the human emotions behind it. Joey is a perfect example of this complexity. While he does oppose the hero, his actions are driven by a tragic desire for peace, making him a sympathetic antagonist, I suppose, rather than a traditional villain. And there's so many standout and memorable moments throughout the story, but at the heart of it is the tale of the cost of war and what people are willing to do to achieve peace. And yes, there's a lot of tropes here that may feel familiar to JRPG fans, but I will say Suikoden 2 executes them quite well. Weight of player choices combined with multiple endings gives the story immense replay value and makes you question each answer, leading to a branching path and a narrative, because it honestly often does. Suikoden 2 retains and improves upon the core gameplay of Suikoden 1, offering a mix of traditional turn-based combat, strategic war battles, and one-on-one duels, and each battle type adds variety and keeps the gameplay fresh, while also, again, enhancing what came before. And of course, like Suikoden 1, we can break them into three categories, the first up being turn-based battles. The six-person party battle system remains intact, offering flexibility in combat, which is great, and characters can be positioned by short or medium or long range, so it does give you an extra emphasis on strategy. You can't just pick all short-range swordsmen. You have to have variety in your party. And the fast-paced battle system, even without auto battles, which I'll talk about here shortly, ensure that random encounters really never felt tedious, even more so thanks to, yes, the auto battle mechanic here. And I talked about loving that in Suikoden 1, and that applies here. I loved it. It's great for easy grinding sessions. Now, a major improvement here, in my opinion, is the refinement of the magic system, or the rune system, or the orb system. Characters can now equip multiple runes, leading to extra customization and tactical options. Runes range from healing attacks to offensive spells. It was really fun trying to figure out what characters should have what runes. I would say confidently that you can probably beat the game with any character, as it mostly hinges on your runes to help complement your strength and defense. I mean, there's 108 characters in this game, just like there was Suikoden 1. You can pretty much play through the entire game with any party, but again, make sure you have some great runes to complement what you're actually trying to do in battle. So combat is enjoyable. Yes, battles sometimes can be a little bit too easy. I really only ever had to try on boss battles. Same thing with Suikoden 1, but I really enjoyed slowing down, turning the auto battles off, and actually thinking about what to do next, what runes to use. And again, the sheer variety of party composition really keeps things engaging. Now, one-on-one duels, just like Suikoden 1, were a highlight of the battle system here. These battles operate on a rock, paper, scissors mechanic. You have attack, defend, and then special. But the real challenge comes from interpreting dialogue cues to anticipate the opponent's moves. The added narrative tension here makes these duels more than just simple encounters. They're like emotional climaxes of specific events that carry significant weight. Now, we do have a big change from the rock, paper, scissors, war sections of Suikoden 1 to strategic army battles here, which are totally different. I mean, these now play like more tactical RPG with a grid-based system reminiscent of stuff like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics, I guess. You command units made up of recruited characters, each with their own abilities. Now, while relatively simple compared to other really dedicated strategy games, this adds a greater sense of control and immersion to the war effort. To be honest, I really didn't care for this, and I think I enjoyed the more straightforward rock, paper, scissors style of the first game. It took me ages to actually figure out what works and what didn't work for these battles. Overall, it was fun, I guess, but I didn't really enjoy it a lot until I got the hang of it. And also, don't forget, if you're enjoying these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. It does help support the channel a long way. It's free and it keeps you in touch with each video that I release every week. Now, Suikoden 2 is set in a region north of where the first game took place, expanding the world significantly. Just like Suikoden 1 HD Remaster, Suikoden 2 is just beautiful. The sprite work is detailed. Towns and cities are very unique, each with their own kind of vibe. I really enjoyed going from town to town and seeing what was different about them. And of course, it's always a highlight checking out the item shops, checking out the NPCs, and seeing if there's any recruitable characters. There's so much that you can miss in the world of Suikoden 2, even more so than Suikoden 1. And like Suikoden 1, you have another castle here that you can occupy. It was huge, and as you recruit more characters, your headquarters grows, unlocking new facilities, visual upgrades, and interactive elements like blacksmith or an item shop or a bathhouse or even elevators. It really gave you a tangible sense of progress and reinforces the feeling that you are leading a rebellion. The more people you get in your castle, you have up to like 4 or 5 levels worth based on how many recruits you have, so it's worth tracking down all those people so you can maximize how much stuff you can actually do in your headquarters. And like I said before, recruiting people, you have up to 108 unique characters. It remains one of the most rewarding aspects of Suikoden as a series. Some characters join automatically while others require exploration or side quests or meeting certain conditions. And a lot of recruits, even if they don't join your battle, they do provide useful services. Like I said before, like a bathhouse or a chef or shops or anything else like mini games. The progress here really does feel meaningful because you can actually see it paying off. And this really is a true sequel because Suikoden 2 builds on the foundation of the first game in many meaningful ways. If you import a completed save file from Suikoden 1, you can unlock some special stuff, and honestly, this is really cool. Having the opportunity to recruit the hero character from Suikoden 1, complete with his own overpowered rune, which was amazing and really helped me out in the final battles there. It was really annoying how you actually had to manually walk to his house to ask him to join you, because he doesn't actually join you for good. He just joins you until, I suppose, a story event or something. He gets kicked out of your party, but it was a little bit cumbersome, but it was well worth it. But I really love seeing some other characters return, like Victor and Flick. They're pretty much a central part of the Resistance, just as much as they were in Suikoden 1. Some of the Resistance leaders from Suikoden 1 also make an appearance. Necklord, the vampire villain from the first game, also returns with a new story arc. Kind of didn't make sense, but you know what? It was cool to see him back, I guess. And of course, the Empire from the last game. It's interesting to see the fallout of all that and how your hero character from Suikoden 1 has maybe not so much embraced being a leader of the Resistance. It's very, very interesting. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, while Suikoden 2 can be enjoyed as a standalone game, playing the first entry and having a completed save file, I suppose, really enhances your experience significantly. It really does feel a little bit more interconnected and lived in, so I would recommend playing Suikoden 1 before 2. So like I did with my Suikoden 1 review, I've got a list of a couple pros versus cons. So yeah, again, a mature, emotionally gripping story with some memorable characters. Not all characters are great, not all characters are created equally, and some do have more weight on the story than others. But at the same time, you can just pick a character who looks cool and functions well in battle. They don't have to, be the driving force behind the resistance effort. That's the cool thing about recruiting over 100 characters. There's just so much to do. There's just so many characters that can help you in so many different ways. The turn-based combat was great, just like it was in Suikoden 1. It's very addicting. That gameplay loop is lots of fun, honestly. Even if I wasn't enjoying the story in certain moments, I really did enjoy battling and doing boss battles and challenging how you can actually move forward with this battle system. It was really fun. Castle building and other mini games added a lot of depth and variety to the experience. I mean, I didn't delve a whole lot into it because I was really just trying to get from point A to point B in terms of story, because I really do need that story to hook me in some ways. But being able to stop and smell the roses metaphorically was kind of fun, and having that option there is, yeah, again, fun when I want that. And there's a lot of replay value with, I think, 4 different endings. You can have a bad ending, a decent ending, a semi-good ending, and then the golden ending, which you need to recruit all 108 people for, which leads me into my cons. There's a lot of missable characters here, and if you're not playing with a guide, you're not going to get the best ending. Do I think that the best ending is worth getting all 108 people for? In today's day and age, I would probably say no, because you can just play however you're going to play, because chances are you're going to get the mostly good ending if you play and don't recruit all 108 people, and you can just watch the best ending on YouTube. It's a lot of work for an extra 2 or 3 minutes worth of cutscenes at the very end. And one of my biggest complaints from Suikoden 1 was the inventory system, and it's still super clunky here, actually even more so. In Suikoden 1, each character had at least maybe 4 or 5 spaces for items in their inventory. If you wanted to use mega potions or something like that, that's all well and fine. But in Suikoden 2, you actually have to equip stuff to your characters, so you lose out on defensive boosts in favor of having food equipped or healing items equipped. I actually found that really annoying. So I kept all stuff equipped to a minimum and just really relied on runes for healing purposes during battle. And yeah, some battles are too easy as well, but you know what, if you're trying to auto battle and just grind through, that's okay. I don't mind. Honestly, I would just put on a show or a YouTube video and just watch that and listen to that while I'm auto battling away. It was fun. None of it really felt truly cumbersome, but yeah, some stuff did feel a little bit easy. So even decades after its release, Suikoden 2, I would say, is a shining example of what an RPG can achieve, or what a JRPG can achieve. If you haven't played it yet, I would say that you do owe it to yourself to experience this game. Do I think it's the masterpiece that everybody has said it is over the last however many years, over 25 years or almost 30 years? I don't think it's a true masterpiece. I think it's just pretty much where it landed with me. I would say it's a good 8 out of 10 JRPG. There's a lot of things that could be refined. A lot of the emotional moments in the story really didn't land with me the way that I thought they would. You know what? I think it's a great story. The characters were great, but things just didn't hit with me the way I thought they would. So I would almost argue that Suikoden 2 could be interpreted as overhyped, but it all depends on who you are, what kind of player you are, where you're at when you play this game as well. Maybe I felt a little bit burned out on Suikoden coming straight off of the credits of Suikoden 1, so maybe I'm doing too much Suikoden at once. But I would say both Suikoden 1 and 2 in the HD collection are fantastic games. I capped out at almost 30 hours for Suikoden 2. I thought it was a great adventure. It's a memorable adventure, but I don't think it was the seriously hyped masterpiece that a lot of people say it was. But yeah, still a great game, still worth experiencing. So thanks so much for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always. Comment your thoughts down below on Suikoden 2. Do you agree with my thoughts today? Otherwise, we'll see you again on another video next week. Bye-bye.